Hello. So here I am, back in my room, back in America, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the trip and the impact it had on my life. So let's see. I think one of the biggest things about the trip was the fact that God was working in your lives. I think constantly the ladies who was there, we constantly kept saying like God is using me, and you can hear everybody had a testimony. Like I know one person never thought about God. They didn't want anything to do with God. They rejected everything about God, but then eventually they got with a pastor and became a pastor's wife, and she was just thinking like, me, God used me. I know another lady was talking about how she used to be a drug addict, used to be addicted to drugs. That was her God. But God rearranged her life to to a place where she had a testimony to share and she can be used by God. Some people were talking about how they were shy and timid, and they was just like, how can God use me? But I know for me, I'm also shy and timid, and I don't like standing in front of people. But I kept constantly thinking about Moses. I think Moses. And how he told God the same thing, but God still used him in such an amazing way. And in the Bible, it talks about how in the time when God needs to use you, he'll give you the words to say. And that comforted me. And it's just like, okay, God, I trust you. Use me if you want to use me. If you called me, I trust you to carry me through. I know while I was there, I was very disappointed about not having any baptisms. It was very disappointing. And so a lot of the time I felt like I wasn't doing good enough. And so the first week I was there, I was kind of more relaxed. But the second week, I was kind of like, I need to get a baptism. Just like, I'm not doing this right. I need to do better. And I think my mind didn't rely on God as much the second week as it did the first week. But I realized that God was still using me. First of all, my translators, both of them, just kind of constantly telling me, like, if I felt like I didn't have a good night, they were just like, you did great. What are you talking about? So that was always comforting. But also, the last Sabbath I was there, like, at all the things that happened for me, I think that was probably the best. Because I was there that Sabbath and I was preaching about heaven. And, before I preached, my translator told me, you're not going to get any baptisms tonight. So today, don't even worry about it. So I was kind of in this mindset, like, I can relax. But in my relaxing and just preaching, somebody decided to rededicate their life to Christ and that they want to get baptized. So I don't know. It just shows that God is just working. He's just working. Like it's not me at all. That was just the biggest testament that it wasn't me at all. So I can preach my hardest like I've been doing, and nothing happens. But when I'm relaxed and let God move like He moves and moves on the heart of people, He can do His thing. So that was good to know. Uh, Now as I sit here at home, I get so many messages from people in the Dominican Republic. I has I think I talk to somebody every day. I'm talking to my translators. I'm talking to church members, and it brightens up. It's really the highlight of my day when I'm sitting on Facebook on Skype and one of them just sent me a message like, "Hola, cómo estás?" And I'm just like, my friends. It makes me so happy to hear from them. They're just like, we miss you. When are you coming back? I gotta make plans to come back. I think in January. We'll see. But still being in contact with them, I love being around other Adventists. It's the greatest feeling in the world. When I went to GC, it was I loved it. But to go to the Dominican Republic to be around people of a different culture, it was so refreshing, especially since their culture is very conservative. So you don't have to deal with any kind of distractions, or it's just like it's really laid back and it's conservative. It's a lot chiller than liberal, like where I'm from. Everybody's liberal here. So being in that culture where you don't have to worry about, dressing up all fancy for church, it's kind of relaxed. And you don't have to worry about loud music. It's just relaxed. They have guitar where they sing, but it's nothing too distracting. It was great. It was a great culture, and I would love to experience it one day. I have to move there. I loved it there. But yes, so right now in my life, I am praying that God makes it possible to go to Atlanta to be a part of I call it missionary work. Um, a man that I met at GC last year, he decided to start this kind of living ministry where basically he does ministry 24 hours a day. He moved out of his what do you call it, neighborhood that was unattached, I'll say, to reality of what people are struggling with. And so he decided to move to a neighborhood where he can hear the issues that people are struggling with and introduce Jesus to people. Like live out what Christ did while he was on earth. And so he moved his family there. I believe he's been there for 3 years. And they just meet people's needs. Any need, spiritual, emotional, physical, anything. He meets their needs. And so I asked them if I could be a part of that ministry. And I feel like after going to the Dominican Republic and preaching about the Bible, I felt this would be a nice follow up, I guess, to go and do real life ministry. Sit down with people and hear what their needs are and live like Christ lived while he was on this earth. A lot of times we kind of focus on just preaching the word and not meeting people's needs. I know that was something. Uh, it was a issue that some of the ladies were having. Like, I know one person said, we're preaching this message about the Bible, which is very important, but some of these people are poor. Some of these people don't have anything to eat. You know, so it's a good contrast, I'll say. So I'm excited. I loved my trip to the Dominican Republic. It was great, and I would definitely encourage anybody and everybody to go. They had a testimony about a girl who um, wasn't even a Christian. No, she was. She'd been going to Adventist church for 2 weeks. She just decided to, start learning more about the Bible, and she heard they were going on a mission trip, so she's like, okay, I'll go. And so she went on a trip with them, and she just wanted to go to support, kind of do that. But then they were missing a speaker. So I asked her if she'll speak. And she was like, I've only been to church for 2 weeks. You don't want me to speak? And she's like, okay. And then later she regretted it, but it was too late. So as she was preaching her message, being only in the church for 2 weeks, every night she would, preach, and she'd just be amazed at God and the Bible. And so she was the first person to decide that she wanted to get baptized. She preached to herself. So if God can use somebody who's been in the church for 2 weeks with a willing heart, he can use anybody. So I would encourage everybody to go on this trip. It's so rewarding. You meet amazing people, and you know why you believe what you believe. The Bible is just opened up to you, and you get to work with the creator of the universe. What better job is there to work with the creator of the universe, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, to have him working in and through you despite who you are and what you've done and your humanness and your sinfulness. Just, it's so rewarding to know that God wants to work with you and wants to use you, and that he connects with you in such an amazing way. It's rewarding. So I would encourage everybody to go. I loved it, and I hope to raise another $3,000 and go again. That'd be great. So we'll see. But anywho, thank you so much to my wonderful church for all their generosity and their donations and their support and their prayers. Oh, they were great. And thank you to Living for Him Ministries for selecting me. I feel so honored. I feel so unworthy. But asking me to go on this trip, it was great. And I hope to do it again. And I hope that others are encouraged to go. So, anywho, God bless you. Continue to pray for me, and I'll pray for you.